The Moro history since 1940 is a complex and multifaceted one that involves political, social, and cultural developments. Here is an overview of some key events and trends. 1940s–1950s. During this period, the Moro people, who are predominantly Muslim, were still living under the Philippine Commonwealth. While many Moros remained under the Philippine government, some groups began to form their own armed resistance against what they perceived as government repression and discrimination. 1960s–1970s. The Moro conflict intensified during this period as various separatist groups emerged. In 1969, the Moro National Liberation Front, MNLF, was formed under the leadership of Nur Misuari, which aimed to establish an independent state for the Moro people. The MNLF fought against the Philippine government, leading to a series of clashes that left many people dead or displaced. 1980s–1990s. The government of the Philippines tried to address the Moro conflict by negotiating peace talks with the MNLF. In 1989, the government signed the Tripoli Agreement, which recognized the Moro people's right to self-determination and autonomy. However, this agreement was not fully implemented, leading to the formation of another separatist group, the Moro Islamic Liberation Front, MILF, in 1984. 2000s–2010s, the MILF continued to fight against the Philippine government, but also engaged in peace talks. In 2014, the government signed the Comprehensive Agreement on the Bangsamoro, which created an autonomous region for the Moro people. However, this agreement was also met with resistance from some Moro groups, who felt that it did not go far enough in addressing their demands. Throughout this period, the Moro people have also faced various social and economic challenges, including poverty, lack of access to education and healthcare, and displacement due to conflict and natural disasters. The Moro culture and heritage have also faced threats, particularly from modernization and cultural assimilation. Overall, the Moro history since 1940 is a complex and ongoing story of struggle for self-determination, autonomy, and recognition of their identity and culture. The Moro history since 1940 is marked by significant political and social changes, including struggles for autonomy and independence, and the rise of violent conflict in the region. Here is an overview of some of the key events. 1940s. 1. The Philippines gains independence from the United States in 1946, but the Moro people in the southern Philippines continue to demand autonomy and self-rule. 2. The Philippine government creates the Commission on National Integration in 1948, which aims to integrate the Moro and other minority groups into the national mainstream. 1950s. 1. In 1954, the Moro National Liberation Front, MNLF, is formed, with the aim of establishing an independent Muslim state in the southern Philippines. 2. The Jabita Massacre occurs in 1968, when the Philippine military allegedly killed Muslim recruits who refused to participate in a secret mission to infiltrate Sabah, Malaysia. 1970s. 1. The MNLF launches a full-scale armed rebellion in 1972, which leads to a declaration of martial law by President Ferdinand Marcos. 2. The Moro insurgency intensifies in the 1970s, with numerous clashes between the MNLF and government forces. 2. The conflict results in significant loss of life and displacement of civilians. 3. The Moro Islamic Liberation Front, MILF, is formed in 1978, as a breakaway group from the MNLF. 1980s. 1. The Philippine government and the MNLF sign a peace agreement in 1989, which creates the Autonomous Region in Muslim Mindanao, ARMM. 1990s. 1. The MNLF and MILF continue to engage in armed conflict with the Philippine government, leading to further loss of life and displacement of civilians. 2. In 1996, the Philippine government and the MILF sign a peace agreement, which establishes the Southern Philippines Council for Peace and Development, SPCPD. 2000s. 1. The MILF and government forces engage in sporadic clashes, despite the peace agreement. 2. The Philippine government and the MILF resume peace talks in 2001, but progress is slow and difficult. 2010s. 1. The Philippine government and the MILF sign a framework agreement in 2012, which sets the stage for the creation of a new autonomous region called Bangsamoro. 2. In 2014, the Comprehensive Agreement on the Bangsamoro is signed, which grants the Bangsamoro region greater autonomy and self-rule. 3. In 2017, the city of Marawi in Lanao del Sur province is besieged by Islamic militants affiliated with the Mount Group and Abu Sayyaf. 3. The conflict leads to a 6-month-long battle, resulting in significant loss of life and destruction of property. 2020s. 1. The Bangsamoro Autonomous Region in Muslim Mindanao, BARMM, is established in 2019, replacing the ARMM. 2. The Philippine government and the MILF continue to work towards implementing the provisions of the peace agreement, but progress is slow and complicated by various factors, including opposition from other groups in the region. The Moro history since 1940 is a complex and turbulent one, marked by a struggle for autonomy and self-determination against the Philippine government. Here are some key events. 1940s. 1. During World War II, the Moros, who were predominantly Muslim, resisted Japanese occupation in Mindanao and Sulu. 2. After the war, Moro leaders demanded independence from the Philippines. 1950s–1960s. 1. The Philippine government established a system of settlers from other parts of the country to Mindanao, leading to land disputes and conflicts with the Moros. 2. In 1968, a group of Moro militants founded the Moro National Liberation Front, MNLF, to fight for an independent Muslim state in Mindanao and Sulu. 1970s. 1. The MNLF launched a series of attacks on government forces, leading to a long and bloody conflict that lasted until the 1990s. 2. In 1972, President Ferdinand Marcos declared martial law, which led to widespread human rights abuses in Mindanao and the displacement of many Moro communities. 1980s. 1. The MNLF entered into peace talks with the government, leading to the creation of the Autonomous Region in Muslim Mindanao, ARMM, in 1989. 1990s. 1. The MNLF split into factions, with some members forming the Moro Islamic Liberation Front, MILF, to continue the fight for a separate Muslim state. 2. In 1996, the government signed a peace agreement with the MNLF, which resulted in the expansion of the ARMM. 2000s. 1. The MILF continued to fight for independence, launching attacks on government forces and civilians. 2. In 2008, the government and the MILF signed a Memorandum of Agreement on Ancestral Domain, which would have granted the MILF control over a significant portion of Mindanao. 2. However, the Supreme Court declared the agreement unconstitutional, leading to renewed conflict. 2010s. 1. The government and the MILF resumed peace talks, leading to the creation of the Bangsamoro Autonomous Region in Muslim Mindanao, BARMM, in 2019. 2. Other Moro groups, such as the Bangsamoro Islamic Freedom Fighters, BIF, and the Abu Sayyaf Group, ASG, continued to carry out attacks and kidnappings in Mindanao. Overall, the Moro struggle for autonomy and self-determination has been marked by decades of violence and conflict, but also by moments of hope and progress towards peace.